Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 10 mLs of each of the two liquids. This one's the calcium chloride. And I try to look at it as carefully as I can and make sure I get the meniscus just exactly touching the line. And I think I need to take out just a little tiny bit, just a drop. And then the extra I'm going to put into the waste beaker. So that's the calcium chloride. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the potassium carbonate. I'm going to measure out as close as I can to 10 mLs. Oops, a little over, no problem, because I've got my other little pipette, plastic pipette, and I can use that to get rid of all the extra. Which I can then squirt into my waste beaker as well. So now I've got these. Now I'm just about ready to mix them. So they're going to be mixed in 125 milliliter Erlenmeyer. Let's mix these two. Oh look, we have a precipitate. And you can see there's droplets on the side. I'm going to try to swirl it around and get everything in there as best I can without spilling it on the table. Okay? You don't want to dump it out on the table, but you do want to get all the reactants mixed. So they're all nicely mixed. Okay, so now that we've got everything mixed, we're about ready to filter. Now what I did is I took actually 2 pieces of quantitative filter paper, put them together, masked them, and then I put my initials, so I know what group this paper will come from, and I also put the mass, which is 0.47 grams on it. Now I'm going to take the first unlabeled piece, put it in, turn on the vacuum gently, and I'm going to add some water to seal it. If you don't add the water, it won't seal properly. Now I'm doing 2 filter papers because I want to make absolutely sure none of the precipitate will get through. Now I'm going to put in a second piece. I'm going to wet it again with our water bottle. Push down to the edges, make sure it's really sealed tight. Do you notice I'm using gloves for this, so you wouldn't do this with bare hands. And now when you pour it directly into the middle. Try to keep away from the edges. See if you can get to go through without any white going through. That's what your goal is. Try to get to go through as cleanly as possible. If you're careful, you should be able to trap almost all of the precipitate on the filter papers. Okay. Now, you're going to need to rinse this because there's still some material left inside. You can just rinse it with water. It'll be fine. It's not soluble in water. You want to pour that in next. Okay, so now all your precipitate has been transferred from here to the filter paper. Now we had probably a small amount get through. Well, we write that down as an error. I mean, it's going to happen. You're never going to get 100% yield in an experiment like this anyway. But it's about the best you can do. Now the next thing you do is you're going to turn off the vacuum, and we're going to have to get the filter paper out. So probably the best thing to use to get the filter paper out is a micro spatula. Okay, so we're going to break the vacuum. Got it broken. Going to use a micro spatula to just gently dig out the filter paper. Okay, now you notice I've got some solid on there. We're just gonna wipe it back off so we have it almost all on there. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the drying oven, which is this thing right here. And we're gonna put the filter paper on a shelf in the drying oven. Now tomorrow when we come back, and we'll close it up. Tomorrow when we come back, we'll have to take it out